Alright, hello guys, we're doing another commentary for you. Let's see, another one of those 2-in-1 commentaries. Let's see, they're both solo replays. I had some people wondering when I was ever going to do one of those of myself, so I had 2 of those today. Hopefully that'll make up for never doing them. So yeah, so the first one will be the Undead versus Undead on 2 Rivers, so let's go over that. How to beat gargoyles without actually having to mass gargoyles yourself. Sort of. But yeah, that's first, and second we'll have me against Spirit Moon. Obviously I get my ass beat to an extent. So yeah, that'll be fun. So anyways, like I said, it's Undead versus Undead. He goes gargoyles fairly early on. I guess I shouldn't say early, but he gets a decent amount of them without me actually scouting them out and such. So gets the 45-second mark, 2x speed, and we'll get it started in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, on pause. So you can see it's just your standard ghoul build order. Crypt, Ziggurat, Altar. It's nothing really new. There's nothing really too fancy about this unless you're going to do a little 2 Crypt Rush, which I've seen a lot of people do sometimes. And that works quite effectively. But I decided just to not do that. I'm not really too experienced with it, and I try to stick to things that I know fairly well. And of course, one of those being harassed with the 1 ghoul very early on. Now apparently, he doesn't see this for a long time. That doesn't make much sense to me. How you could possibly miss my ghoul attacking your acolyte, and you can see I get a free kill. Obviously I don't have a hero out, so I don't get experience, but he lost a decent amount of gold from me doing this. So it worked out quite well. But since he went Lich first, my ghoul dies. So it's all good. I did get to see his hero, he doesn't know mine. Got an acolyte, I got 1 acolyte to run around for a long time. You can see his wood's actually quite behind too. Normally, he'd be attacking right about now, but I completely delayed that. Honestly, he did too by going out to creep. So, it's partially mine and partially his. So, since I went Lich first as well, I'm just going to scout out, try and creep jack him. Obviously that would devastate him, probably force him to TP if I was to creep jack him right here. But you can see he has a really weird creeping pattern. I don't know if it's just like completely random to avoid getting creep jacked, or it's just like some weird, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I only get to creep jack him once, so normally with this strategy I would hope to get him as much as possible. So anyways, you can see that battle basically was just me going after ghouls, him going after my hero. He won, obviously. My Lich died. With the little lumber return trick, you can lose your hero if it's only level 1, because you know the ghouls are going to get out there safely. Even if he does have a Frost Nova, most of them should get out there safely. You might lose 1 to the Frost Nova if you don't TP, but yeah. And also, I'll admit, it was sort of an accident. I meant to TP, but I didn't. It works out in the end, though. Even though I did feed him a ton of experience, you can see he's already level 3. So I'm off to creep. You can see I was doing a little split creeping. Basically, I know I'm behind in experience, so I gotta creep as fast as I possibly can. Since I know he'll be creeping even faster than I am, since he's at a bit of an advantage over me right now. I guess. Well, tech-wise, I actually have more food than him. Whatever. You can see I'm not creeping with too many ghouls. I always end up losing lumber when I was creeping. I always end up having too many ghouls creeping. So I try make sure I have as many ghouls and lumber early on as possible to avoid that kind of thing happening. So you can see I get Dreadlord second. Obviously it's for Carrion Swarm. It's one of the few AoEs in the game that can also hit air. And of course it'd be nice just in case he ever switched over to gargoyles. And of course I put the wand of Necromancy on him as well, so I can get even more units out there. And since usually right now I know it's just mass AoE wars, there'll be a lot of corpses on the ground. Basically right now I'm just trying to find him creeping, since I know I could do a nice amount of damage to him if I ever caught him. But unfortunately I kind of have a problem catching him this game. So I'm just walking around. Decided I will just creep this now. Obviously never finding him. So I just go to creep. Nothing too special about it. I think I might actually have lost a ghoul because he got trapped. Well, it might be later on. I can't remember. I'm just really bad at creeping with ghouls, I'll admit that too. Since I'm always used to having fiends. So I'm at tier 3 now. I'm putting up 2 slaughterhouses. It could be for statues, it could be for abominations. It all depends on what he has. If he has like mass ghouls right now, I would just went to destroyers, since I just love to make those, obviously. But if he does have abominations himself, I can just make my own and just try and copy him. And if he has gargoyles, well, I don't really use them. It's more of a just in case type of thing, but I will make abominations out of them eventually, even though he will have gargoyles. Because obviously a huge plus with abominations is their gigantic amount of health, and it basically makes the Lich only used for killing heroes, not units, since it's really difficult to kill abominations with Frost Nova and such. So you can see I got a Crypt Lord out. I put Orb of Corruption on my Lich. You can see I have 2 different scrolls of healing. Basically, when you get Frost Nova, you use the scroll of healing, and it'll completely negate the damage it did, except for the one he originally targeted. So I can see his gargoyles right now. I was sort of expecting it, but it was also caught off guard. Obviously I never scouted it, but most undead versus undead matches turn into having gargoyles. You can see he has a Book of the Dead, and I'm not going to want to try and attempt to fight that, so I'm just going to TP out. And I also lost my Dreadlord. I'm not exactly sure how I did that. I must have had some sort of a lag, because I was clicking the potion, as I recall, but whatever. So you can see I'm making the abominations now. I'm not going to bother ghouls. You would think I would switch over to gargoyles to try and counter his gargoyles, but it's not needed. You can see I'm going to start giving my Orb of Corruption to my Crypt Lord. I'm also going to give one to the Dreadlord. Actually, I think I already passed it over, but yeah. But since I have 2 area of effect spells that can hit the gargoyles, I don't really have to worry about them too much, since they're relatively low health, and they don't do too much damage, especially if you have abominations on the ground. But you can see I get lucky here. Finally get to creep jack him. I expected he'd be creeping right about here, right now, since he didn't come to attack. You can see I get pretty much his entire ghoul army, almost all of his heroes. You can see I've made sure that he did not use his TP by doing my Nova, my Carrion first, then impaling him, when I knew he was like weak enough that I could finish him off. And yeah, you can see right there I got a nice little surround on the Crypt Lord. And you can see without heroes, which the ghouls, gargoyles aren't going to do anything to me, because that's also obviously part of it. If me going ghouls and abominations, I can get rid of the heroes. If it's just gargoyles, they're not going to kill me. No matter how hard he tries. He might be able to pick up ghouls, but he's going to lose a lot to me first. You can see I almost have a level 2 Carrion Swarm. Obviously I already have a level 2 Nova. There's not much you can do. I'm going to be a bit foolish now and just charge into his base. I wanted to take out his mine, but he already has a Spirit Tower there and a Black Citadel, so he's actually able to hold us off fairly well. But I do get to do a huge amount of damage. You can see all the gargoyles are gone now. He obviously goes away from using them, knowing that he can't beat me with gargoyles anymore. So he's just going to switch back to, I think it was ghouls? I can't remember. I think he might actually, no, he switches over to statues and destroyers, which was the smart move at the time. I can see that right there too, since I'm pretty sure he's not going to go back to gargoyles. I can see a few statues out as well. I can see 3. Wait, never mind. That's on my own. That's 2. So I'm assuming he's going to try and go destroyers to counter me. So at this point, I'll switch back to gargs. And a few more abominations, I guess. Although those aren't really needed. So I'll do that. I'm also putting up an expansion knowing I have the advantage. Obviously you always do that. And I'm just basically standing outside his base, just making sure he doesn't expand, since I know the main mines are getting fairly close to going out. So I'll just starve him out for now. And see if I can maybe pick off his Lich, which I don't quite do. Actually, I think I do right here. Or not. I think it was like the Frost Nova slow that saved him. But whatever, so I'll just sit here, get more healing and mana, and just wait for him to eventually either try and come out in a desperation attack, or just, you know, starve him out. So pretty much he's gonna fight me off. He actually gets my Lich, but I also had his. I can see right now that he does indeed have the Destroyer out, and he has a Crypt Lord. he did decide to go Ghouls for again. I don't know why he would try that anymore. It's obvious I have Abominations, I have all these high level AoE spells. It's really just a stupid move. But maybe he was just clueless. He really should have tried to Mass Destroyers. At that point, from what he saw, that was his only real hope. But what would have probably been best was his own Abominations, I guess. But pretty much, I think at this point, he had no chance, since I had the expansion, all the AoE, and he has no real counter to my army anymore. Besides the Mass Destroyers, but which you can kind of see, I'm switching to gargs, so there's no way. So my expansion's up, he's going to try and attack me and try and take that down. He's not going to do anything to me. You can see I still have 2 heroes out there. They do a nice amount of damage. Obviously the Vampire helps out too with the Abominations. For the Abominations, it completely counters the Impale. And almost the Noma as well, since they get a lot of health back from that over time. So you can see I'm chasing another Crypt Lord. I can't quite get him thanks to that last second Impale he had. But it doesn't matter. I'll still win this game since the expansion and all, and I have my Lich back. I'm basically just fooling around. You can see I have my little acolytes dancing around for no reason at all. And he decided to bring his Lich back. I tried to surround him using Impale, didn't quite get it. If I would have like a Death Knight in my army, I would have gotten it, but oh well. It's all good. So eventually he gets like a last ditch effort, I think, then leaves the game. You can see he's pretty weak right there. He obviously has no more mana anymore. So it's pretty much over. I'm still just messing up gargoyles just in case. And I'm also researching Stone Form, which I realized that Lich were doing hit and runs on the gargoyles and novaing them. It'd be nice to have that in there since they heal insanely fast with that on. Also, I just wanted to wait for my Dreadlord. That's one of the tendencies I do. I hate to go without having all my heroes there. But whatever. You can see right there, it's over. He tried to attack. You're not gonna do that, dude. So that's good game. So I get the next replay against Spirit Moon. So 45-second mark, also 2x speed, and we'll be there soon. Alright, hello guys. Part 2, me versus Spirit Moon. I'm not exactly sure what level he is. I think he's 50 in Kalimdor, but I'm not sure. I know some people consider him to be the top Nidow player in the world. It's like between him and Showtime immediately, like 1 or 2 others, like APM 70, I'm not sure. So yeah, basically it's the second round, second straight week of me getting someone that's like extremely go-to. Of course, last week I got 4K Gravity. That wasn't like anywhere near as fun, as he didn't go with Orc, so I didn't bother with doing anything with that. So put the vision on me, get at the 45-second mark, and we'll get it started. So on 3 seconds, unpause it. 3, 2, 1, unpause. Oops. I'm at the 56-second mark. Minute 2, minute 4, etc., etc. So anyways, I've seen like a lot of Nidow versus Undead replays in this patch. A lot of them like of Kalimdor people or high level Northrend and such. And knowing this is a good map for it, I expected him to put a Tree of Life to the west of its natural, like right below the hill where they want the creeps won't go to attack it, and it gets a pretty easy expansion like that. So I was expecting that all the way. But I was hoping you'd do it with archers, since I've seen some replays of Undead taking that down quite easily with this standard Ghouls going to attack the Nidow. But the Ghouls with the archers, it's just no contest, as they have nowhere near the food they need. But he goes hunt, so I don't know at all what the hell I'm supposed to do versus this. So I'm sort of like clueless. The only thing I can really think of is to fast expand myself and just try to keep up with resources. Knowing it's plunder, I can just mass gargs easily and beat them like that. So you can see also I went Dreadlord first. Almost everyone goes with that hero if they're gonna fast expand. Plus I wasn't very confident at surrounding his heroes with a Death Knight. Although, after playing through this game, I think I could have done that as well. But Dreadlord's fine too. I was mainly expecting a ward, and I would just constantly keep her in sleep. But you can see he went Demon Hunter, which is sort of just to annoy. He can't really do too much early on, so he's not that big of a deal. So here I go off to expand. I make the mistake of not buying the sacrificial skull. I meant to do that, but I forgot. But it's all good. I don't think I really would have had the resources to make towers in time anyways. You can see the Death Knight again, it's trying to be annoying, so I just go after the creeps, and eventually if I think I have a chance at surrounding him, I'll go back and surround him. You can see right there, I do get him surrounded, but he does notice I have a weak ghoul, and I didn't notice it myself. So, I lost that ghoul. I tried to summon him again, failed. I see he's running back to the Macau Merchant. I know it's to buy a staff of TP and get out. Would have been really tricky if he actually did not buy the staff TP and just stood there, because I wasn't gonna chase him, and he would have went back and destroyed my Exo. That would have been pretty sad for me. I was just praying that he wouldn't do that, because I'm just gonna go out to creep now. You can see he already has an expansion going up. His will finish before mine. Well, actually about the same time, but he'll have enough twists by the time his is done. Obviously, since I attacked before putting my expansion up, I have to wait a bit. But I prefer to just get that tech up there quickly and wait. And plus you can see he's already back in there to take it down. Knowing I just attacked poison creeps, and I just didn't feel that I could defend that expansion at this point with 5 Huntresses and the level 2 Demon Hunter. I didn't think I had a chance of stopping it, so I just let him take it. I should have tried to unsummon my gold mine, but I didn't get to do that. So I still really want to expand. I'm almost confident that he had definitely expanded over there, especially after checking out his items. I sort of knew that he had done that, so I still really want to keep up with him in resources. I'm gonna go do that. So I'm just gonna creep this. Maybe he wouldn't expect me to do it again over here. Maybe I get lucky, but hey. And I'm also gonna make sure I'm gonna go scout the gargoyles, see if there's anything there. Maybe I get lucky and he's actually still making it, but that's not happening. He has an Ancient Protector going up, and he also has still mostly hunts, but he is starting to switch over to archers, realizing I'll probably end up going with gargs. And you can see he did scout with a wisp and see me expand. So I do have spirit towers coming up this time. And I do think they actually finish in time as well. Actually no, never mind. I have one little fight over here. So I quickly ended up creeping that, get the item, and you can see, and he comes right here. Now, I could defend this mainly because he always just targets my gold mine. Actually, I don't want to try and save it, as I know if I try to repair it, the Huntress's glaive bounce will just kill my acolytes off. Although I should have just attempted it anyways. I really could have used that gold right there. But yeah, so that's just one mistake. I actually don't think I make too many in this game, but you know, I don't think spirit remove any at all. So yeah, so I do my little creep the ogres with just air units. Obviously it's effective. For some reason there's an archer there. I think it's just to sit there and scout, and if I do try to creep that, she'll see that and she can maybe take down a gargoyle or something. Not exactly sure what the plan was with that. I'll just assume it's for scouting. So I go in there. I want to creep this fast since I'm expecting him to come and attack me right now, knowing that I just crept that. And he's going to try and hope he can get there before I'm finishing with this. If I would just continue to keep with gargoyles alone, I would not have completed it in time. We got maybe free experience in the item. Not sure. So the battle begins. Basically my ghouls get slaughtered as I don't have any scrolls of healing yet. Let's see, there were some available, but no. So I'm just going to TP out. I should have done that right away. But I thought I could maybe pick some things up with the gargoyles. I did get a few units with the gargoyles up, but he definitely had a huge advantage in that one. I do have my expansion up finally. But at this point, I say no, I have like a lot of gargoyles, and I know there's dragons on this map. What the whole plan is just to creep those, get a ton of experience for it. I just hope I can get like a level 3 sleep and I can take him down. So he's attacking my expansion. I realize I'm not going to get there in time. Even if I did get there in time, I don't think I would have been able to take him down regardless. So I'll just go and create the gargs and hope I get some sort of extremely good item that can maybe somehow turn the tides. But they do give you great items there, but there would have been nothing that would have turned the tide in this game. So it was over. You can see he's already expending it again. Basically, he knows that he's pretty much won this, as I have no mine. He does. So why not? I wasn't going to create the gargs again, but since I had to attack a wisp there, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to try and see if I can somehow take down his expansion. And basically, I see he's right behind me, so I'm going to run over to the top of the merchant, be on top of the hill, fire quickly some scrolls of healing and a TP. I'm just going to stand at the top of the hill, try and get a hill advantage, and see if I can somehow work off a miracle. But you can see I don't. He just has 80 food, I have 50. I think it's pretty obvious he wins, especially having now 3 mines to my 1. So that's game. The score is actually pretty close, but the game wasn't. So yeah, basically, after watching, I'm not sure I had any real chance. I would have to hope he made some sort of mistake, i.e. not finding my expansion, although it was pretty obvious from the start that I was going to do that. With Dreadlord first in the graveyard and Ghouls, you're almost always going to see that, so yeah. And that's also, you know, I still don't know. I'll probably review it a bit. Eventually I'll probably think of something that might have been able to stop it. But until then, I'm scared if I ever play him again. So I hope you enjoyed the commentaries. Later.